So, you just got your real estate license. Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. But here's the reality check nobody wants to talk about. Getting your license is the easy part. The hard part, actually knowing what to do with it. Most new agents dive in thinking they'll figure it out as they go. And sure, you'll learn something that way, usually the hard way. But what if there was a smarter path? What if you could build your skills in the right order so you're not wasting months spinning your wheels on things that don't move the needle yet? That's exactly what we're covering today. I'm going to walk you through the competency hierarchy that will take you from brand new agent to confident advisor in your first 12 months. We're talking about the specific skills you need to master in the exact order you need to master them, so you can ramp up faster and avoid the mistakes that derail most new agents before they ever close their 5th deal. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap for your first year. No guesswork, no overwhelm, just a proven framework that tells you exactly what to focus on and when. Let's get into it. Here's what most brokerages won't tell you when you start. Not all skills are created equal. Some competencies are foundational. You literally can't function without them. Others are advanced. They separate good agents from great ones, but they're useless if you haven't built the foundation first. Think of it like building a house. You don't start with the chandelier. You start with the foundation, then the walls, then the roof. Only then do you worry about the fancy stuff. Your skill development works the same way. The competency hierarchy we're using today breaks your first year into 3 levels. Level 1 is months 1 through 3, your foundation phase. Level 2 is months 4 through 6, your deal mechanics phase. Level 3 is months 7 through 12, your advisory phase. Each level builds on the one before it. And here's the key: you can't skip levels. Trying to master advanced market analysis before you can even run an MLS search is like trying to run before you can walk. It doesn't work, and it just frustrates everyone involved. So let's break down each level, starting where every new agent needs to start. Level 1, months 1 through 3. Build your foundation. Your goal in the first 3 months is simple: become highly usable. That means you can actually help a client without needing to call your broker every 5 minutes. It means you know your tools, you know your market, and you can communicate like a professional. Let's start with MLS Proficiency. The multiple listing service is your lifeblood as an agent. If you can't use it efficiently, you're dead in the water. During months 1 through 3, you need to learn how to run and save searches, set up automated alerts for your clients, pull accurate comparable sales, and read listing histories and days on market data without getting confused. Here's a practical exercise. Create at least 3 to 5 different saved search templates. One for first-time buyers, one for investors, one for move-up sellers, one for rental properties, maybe one for luxury buyers if that's your market. The point is to build reusable tools so you're not starting from scratch every time a client asks you to find them something. Next up, basic market knowledge. You don't need to be a statistician yet, but you do need to know typical price ranges, average days on market, and key neighborhoods in your area. You need to track weekly inventory, new listings, pending sales, and closed transactions, so you can speak in concrete numbers instead of guesses. Here's a habit that will change your game. Spend 30 minutes a day in the MLS just browsing. Look at new listings. Check what went pending. See what closed. And once a week, do a market walk. Get in your car or on your feet and actually visit the neighborhoods you're targeting. Look at the homes from the outside, then go back and check those same properties in the MLS. You'll start connecting the data to the real world, and that's when market knowledge becomes intuitive. The third foundational competency is professional communication. This is consistently ranked as one of the most critical agent skills, and it's not hard to see why. You can know everything about a property, but if you can't explain it clearly, or if your emails are full of typos and your texts are confusing, clients won't trust you. Practice clear, concise writing. Learn to listen actively instead of just waiting for your turn to talk, and standardize your scripts. You need an intro script, a buyer consultation script, a text template for confirming showings, an email template for following up after meetings. These aren't about being robotic, they're about being consistent and professional every single time. Level 2, months 4 through 6, Master Deal Mechanics. By month 4, you should feel comfortable with the basics. Now it's time to layer on the skills that directly affect money and risk, the stuff that separates agents who close deals from agents who just talk about closing deals. First competency, pricing strategy. Whether you're working with buyers or sellers, you need to understand list-to-sale price ratios. You need to know how to bracket value, meaning how to determine a realistic price range for a property based on recent sales. And you need to understand when to price ahead of the market, with the market, or behind the market, depending on your client's goals and the current conditions. Here's where market context matters. If you're in a seller's market with low inventory and high demand, pricing aggressively can still get results. But if you're in a buyer's market with lots of competition, overpricing a listing is a death sentence. You need to know the difference and advise your clients accordingly. A practical exercise for Level 2. Take 3 to 5 recently sold properties in your area and redo the pricing analysis. What would you have listed them for, based on the comps available at the time? Then compare your estimate to the actual closing price. How close were you? Where did you miss? This kind of retrospective analysis builds your pricing instincts faster than almost anything else. Next up, negotiation basics. This is where a lot of new agents freeze up. Negotiation feels intimidating because there's real money on the line and emotions running high. But here's the truth. Negotiation is a skill, not a talent. You can learn it. Start with core tactics, anchoring, making the first reasonable offer to set the terms, trading concessions, never giving something without getting something in return, knowing your walkaway point, the line you won't cross, and always separating people from the problem. You're not fighting with the other agent or the other party. You're solving a problem together. And here's the most important rule for negotiation in real estate. Tie everything back to data. Don't argue based on feelings. Argue based on comps, days on market, condition reports, and competing offers. Data removes emotion and gives everyone something objective to rally around. During Level 2, make it a habit to shadow or review at least 1 to 2 real negotiations per week. Sit in on other agents' deals if they'll let you. Write down what each side traded, how they framed their positions, and what ultimately closed the gap. You'll start seeing patterns, and those patterns become your playbook. The third level, 2 competency, is contract knowledge. You need to be able to walk a client line by line through your standard purchase agreement. You need to explain contingencies, timelines, and key risk points in plain language. And you need to memorize critical deadlines. When the deposit is due, when the inspection period ends, when financing contingencies expire, when closing happens. And what happens if those deadlines are missed? Here's a weekly habit that will make you bulletproof on contracts. Review 1 full contract per week. Print it out, annotate it in your own words, write next to each clause what it means in plain English. After a few months of this, you'll be able to explain any contract in your sleep. Level 3, months. 7 through 12. Become an advisor. By month 7, you're no longer a rookie. You've helped some clients. You've closed some deals. You know your tools and you know your market. Now it's time to stop looking like a transactional agent and start looking like a trusted advisor. The difference? Advisors don't just execute, they guide, they interpret, they provide strategic recommendations based on deep market understanding. And that's what Level 3 is all about. First competency, market analysis. You need to be able to interpret trends, inventory levels, absorption rate, median price movement, and days on market by segment. And you need to turn that data into advice. Not just, here are the numbers, but given these numbers, here's what that means for your timing, your pricing, and your negotiation leverage. Let's say inventory is climbing and days on market are increasing. What does that mean for a seller? It means they need to price competitively from day one, because the window for overpricing and adjusting later is closing. What does it mean for a buyer? It means they have more leverage to negotiate on price and terms because sellers are getting nervous. That's the kind of strategic thinking that turns you from an order taker into a trusted partner. Next up, CMA creation. A comparative market analysis is the foundation of every pricing conversation. But here's where most new agents fail. They just average the comps and call it a day. That's lazy, and clients can tell. A great CMA adjusts for size, condition, location, and date of sale. It accounts for the fact that the house that sold 3 months ago might not reflect today's market. It recognizes that the house with the renovated kitchen is worth more than the house with original appliances from 1985. And then you present your CMA as a story. Where has the market been? Where is it now? And how does that support your pricing recommendation? That narrative approach builds trust and positions you as the expert. Make it a habit to build one full CMA per week, even if it's just for practice. Then have a mentor or senior agent critique it. Where did you miss? What adjustments did you forget? This kind of deliberate practice is what separates good agents from great ones. The final Level 3 competency is advanced objection handling. By now, you've heard the objections. Your commission is too high. We want to wait until spring. I already know someone. We're just not sure about the price. Every agent hears these, but great agents have structured responses ready. Here's a framework that works. Acknowledge, ask, address, confirm. First, acknowledge the concern so the client feels heard. Then ask a clarifying question to understand the real issue. Then address it with data or a story. Finally, confirm that you've resolved the concern before moving forward. Let's try it with a common objection. We want to wait until spring to list. Acknowledge. I totally understand. Spring is a popular time to sell, and a lot of sellers think that way. Ask. Can I ask what you're hoping will be different in spring versus listing now? Address. Here's what the data shows. In our market, inventory typically spikes in spring, which means more competition for your listing. Buyers who are looking right now in the off-season tend to be more serious and more motivated. And if we list now, we can capture those buyers before they have 20 other options to choose from. Confirm. Does that change your thinking at all? Or are there other concerns about timing we should talk through? That's objection handling that builds trust instead of creating defensiveness. And it only works if you've practiced it. During Level 3, keep a log of every objection you hear. Write down 2 to 3 different responses for each one. Role play them with other agents. Refine them based on what works. And once a month, create a simple state-of-the-market summary you could share with your sphere. That habit keeps your market knowledge sharp and positions you as a thought leader in your community. Now, here's the reality. This hierarchy isn't a suggestion, it's a roadmap. If you try to skip ahead, if you try to build CMAs before you know your market, or negotiate deals before you understand contracts, you're going to struggle, and your clients are going to suffer for it. But if you follow this path, if you build each level methodically before moving to the next, you're going to ramp up faster than 90% of new agents. You're going to close more deals. You're going to build a reputation for competence and professionalism. And you're going to avoid the mistakes that wash most agents out of the business in their first 2 years. So here's my challenge to you. Take the self-assessment quiz I mentioned earlier. Score yourself honestly on each of these 15 competencies. If you're scoring 3 or below on any of them, that's your focus for the next 30 days. Don't try to fix everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 skills, build them until they're strong, and then move on to the next. And here's the best part. You don't have to do this alone. The resources are out there. Your local MLS offers training. Your brokerage offers courses. Online platforms offer everything from negotiation workshops to contract deep dives. The information exists. The only question is whether you're disciplined enough to use it. Because here's the truth. Getting your license was the easy part. Building the skills to actually succeed as an agent, that's the real work. But it's also the work that pays off for the rest of your career. So, start today, pick your level 1 competencies, build your habits, track your progress, and 12 months from now, you're going to look back and be amazed at how far you've come. You've got this. Now go build the foundation that will carry you through your entire career. This script was generated using an AI employee built in Claude by the Leasix agency. Video produced with HeyGen using an avatar trained on the voice and likeness of Leasix founder Robert Lee. For more information about how Leasix can grow your business, schedule a free profitability planning session at leasix.agency.